dying to meet him. Where is he?
Well, I'm Steve. That's Skyler right there. We're your hosts.
Yeah, I know, but where's the pup?
Pup? I don't know. What do you mean? There's no pup. Like a dog?
Puppy dog?
Yeah, I mean, he told me this show is called Acting Pup, and I've coached a lot of animals, and I was looking forward to coaching.
You know what? Art, find your paperwork. Hold on for a second. Let me just talk to these guys real quick. Look, Art has been around a long time. I mean, 40 years in the business,
sure,
okay?
Yeah.
Done a lot of stuff. His hearing's going, okay?
Okay.
And when I told him it was acting up, he thought it was acting pup. He's coached animals,
okay?
But I'm going to warn you guys right now, do not piss this guy off, okay?
You're telling me that there's no pup?
No, we're good.
This is
Steve will fill in.
The pup's running late. The pup's running late.
Pup's running late.
Okay, I'm going to work on 2 scenes
Okay.
with the pup. I'm going to do the death scene from Old Yeller.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, wow. I'm going to wait till he gets here to go through that.
Okay.
But this is a scene from Dog Day Afternoon. Orf, 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 orf.
No way. No way you're coming with us to rob the bank. All right? I don't even want to bring Sal. Well, when you put it that way, get your leash and let's go.
Hey, that was...
Wow, yeah. I mean, this is going to be the best show ever.
When the pup arrives, this is what I'll do, because this is what I do.
Yeah. Art, good for you, Art. Yeah.
And also, the pup gets his treat. Steve, you get yours too.
Yeah, eat him.
It's terrific.
Yeah.
Tom and Art, you guys worked together recently on the Fuzz pilot, right?
Yes, Fuzz.
Art, you directed this.
I directed it, and Tom wrote it and produced it and acted in it.
I did.
A triple threat.
I like it.
Nice.
But
I actually was making threats the whole time. Yeah,
Okay.
I was going to say he never threatened me once, nor did I him. No, we had a great time working together.
Nice.
It was the, what did I say, 15th pilot that I had
Oh, wow.
done.
Can you believe that?
So I was very, very pleased and proud of it. I'm a big fan of where the show originated in its genus, which was from Barney Miller, which is what we all had hoped for it to be, a kind of modern version of Barney Miller, or as the tag went, high school with guns.
Now, was this the first time you guys had worked together?
Yeah. Well, Art was my acting coach, which I'll let him tell you about his acting training. But he was. I was seeking out an acting coach, kind of like I had a lot of experience in films, but I wanted to feel like a boxer, like in the ring. And so and then when I heard Javier Bardem goes to an acting class every week, I'm like, I gotta go. So I sought out a bunch of acting coaches, but they were all former bitter actors, I found. and so here's this guy that directed the Seinfeld pilot and also had a pedigree, being Sean Penn's coach and all these people. And
Is that the brand of the dog food you made?
he does eat dog food.
Yes.
And so I sought him out and met with him, and we hit it off right away. And man, I loved his class and still love it. Yeah.
It was terrific because, as Tom said, we really hit it off, and he's a good actor, and he's getting better and better. And we made the usual.
Tom looked like he thought that was a backhanded compliment.
of everything he makes and his next child.
Oh, wow.
The interesting thing about it is when we were in class one day before class, Tom said, I've just co-written a script based on a book called The Funniest Cop Stories Ever Told.
By Scott Baker.
Would you read it? And I said, sure, I'd be glad to. So I read it, and I said, you want some feedback? And he said, sure. So I took some notes and gave him some feedback, and he said, wow, that's really interesting. I'm going to do a rewrite on it. So he did a rewrite on it, gave me it back. I said, that's very good. I'm going to give you some more notes. I gave him some more notes, did some more rewriting.
This was eight years.
Yes, right. A generation later.
I was 17.
And he said to me, it's too bad you couldn't direct this. And I said, why couldn't I? And he said, well, you don't direct anymore, do you?
Yeah, I thought he was retired. Seriously.
No. I direct if it's the right project.
Yeah.
And he said, well, would you consider directing this? I said, I wouldn't consider it. I'll direct it. So it was really nice. And Scott Baker, the co-author of the teleplay, and also who wrote the book, The Funniest Cop Story.
Yeah, he's a former NYPD cop. Yeah, great guy.
Evidently was a big fan of my work, which was a big surprise to me.
No, I told him to say that, actually. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, no, he was.
I was
Pull open the curtain, man.
This is how Tom
when
gets
he came
everything.
on
We
set-
figured this out already.
When he came on set, he was telling everybody that, and I said, not only was he a big fan of the later work, the comedy, black comedy that he did on television and the theater and stuff, but the early work, the stuff with Lillian Gish and The Silence.
Yeah.
Early Chaplin one reels.
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody. Still had those. No, we had a great time working together.
You want to hit this call, Steve, before
call.
before
You know how
Engineer
I
Brian
feel about
drops-
callers.
Okay, well,
If they're not on hold 5 minutes, I don't even want to talk. No, we will. It's been 3 minutes 30. So
Wow.
Apollo, you're on the air.
Yes, I have a question for Art Wolff. And as a producer and director, what is your most difficult and what do you most enjoy about doing both?
You mean teaching versus directing?
No, producing, I think.
Oh, producing and directing. Well,
This
the best situation is if you can produce and direct, because then you have more control. And when you're making a film, the power goes with the director, and when you're working in TV, most of the time it goes with the producer, who usually is the writer. Or if you're working on a pilot, then you have much more say. When I did the Seinfeld pilot, since I was in on the creation of that, I had a lot to say about that. Cool. And working with Tom, who was a friend, he allowed me to act kind of as like an unspoken producer too. So that was great. But
Unspoken. I wouldn't let him speak, by the way.
In answer to your question, I think I enjoy directing more because I like the contact with the actors. I like actors. I like the give and take, and I enjoy the process, the rehearsal process. I like to spend the time investigating, knowing how you make something funny, how to do that. So that's probably a long answer to the question.
we need to
Good
have
question. Thank you, Apollo.
we need to have that Apollo robot call in again.
Right.
What was with the sound?
I don't know, man. Was he calling from inside a
I
pizza
think
oven?
you like producing a director.
It's
But
something
thank you for the call. Apollo.
something we've created to ask our guests questions.
If you want to be made fun of after you get hung up on, it's 800-405-6425. We're talking with Tom Malloy and Art Wolff.
No, all right. I have to ask about the Seinfeld pilot.
Yes.
Because I believe it's the best sitcom ever. And now you were there. I mean, you were part of creating the pilot with them.
Yes, I was.
So what?
Now.
What? You basically you were the star of the show. You made the show. I'm going to go that far.
Well, I was instrumental in helping do it.
That's great.
And the interesting thing about this is that despite what NBC likes to say, and they always, after something is a success, everybody takes credit for it. What is the old thing? Success has many fathers, and failure has you pointing the finger.
Sure.
So, but constantly we heard right from the very first day we did the first reading, this show has got to be about something.
Oh, that's hilarious.
You cannot do a show that is about nothing.
funny.
And then secondly, I had a lot of pressure constantly from network people who said to me, we think Jerry is great. He's wonderful. We love that you found Jason Alexander to go. I mean, find Jason Alexander.
No, you can say
cast him.
you found him.
he was wonderful as George.
Sure.
But what is that other guy? What the hell is his name? Larry David?
Oh,
Can
Larry
you
David.
get him out of the way? Can you move him?
Wow.
And I would just look at them like, what are you, nuts?
Yeah.
This is the guy who is the whole Mishigas, the whole thing behind it. So they never realized that until the show finally got sold. And then Larry really stepped forward, and he and Jerry did a fabulous job turning out the scripts and putting their imprint on it. And then, of course, since Larry he was a stand-up, is a stand-up, always wanted to have his own show, developed his show, and it's a fabulous show. And I think that there's always been a kind of like friendly rivalry between, they've always been friends, between Jerry and Larry. And I think that Larry always says, you may have won an Emmy, Jerry, but you never won 2 Golden Globes.
Hey, I have a question for you, Art.
Yes.
As this is Tom, the new host of the show. No,
I like the initiative.
And I'm going to be taking calls. When you direct a pilot like that that's super successful, do you get? Do you still retain a piece of it? Do you get a payment every time it airs? Or no?
I get a payment every time the show, when it was produced. Every time a new episode was produced.
Okay, so not in syndication.
And syndication, I had a deal where, since I had been successful in doing a lot of pilots before that, I had a nice deal in which the first 6 times it played, I got a payment.
Wow, you are buying drinks tonight.
Yeah, that was pretty nice.
Cool.
And it's so interesting. At that point, I was represented by ICM, and who knew that the Seinfeld pilot was going to be such a hit, or that it was even going to be sold. And I can remember my agent calling me, and he was on the way to England, and he's at the airport, and he said, I just wrapped up the Seinfeld deal. I said we had to have 6 runs in syndication, otherwise they should just forget it. And I said, well, did you get it? He said, yeah.
That's
I
great.
said, oh, that's fine, great. Later on, I thought, what?
Yeah.
What did I almost miss for this?
Wow.
That's great.
It's all about being, you've probably heard this on this show over and over again. You want to be prepared. You want to have your chops together. But it's being in the right place at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Being ready to go.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at the episodes that followed, how different are they from the vision that you guys had originally for the
Well,
pilot?
I think they're very close to it. One of the things, obviously, the big difference is we didn't have Elaine in the pilot. Elaine was added after, which was great. We talked about having a woman as a regular, and the one that we thought we would have is the very good actress Lee Garlington, who played part of a waitress in the pilot, and she was great. But the character of Elaine was infinitely better. But the thing that we all pledged to one another is no hugs at the end of any episode.
Right.
Nobody would hug.
And no learning, right?
Yes,
You know
no
what-
learning. Tom is working on a number of production deals that would enable us to do that. And I don't want to say too much about it because I don't believe that you should talk specifically about something until it's finished.
Well, I actually can. I've signed a deal. In the whole effort of making films, I have closed a deal with a fantastic person in China. Her name is Wan Han, and she's you don't know her yet, but you will because she's going to be executive producer on all these films, and we've just signed a deal to do 3 films. To do 3 films over the next 3 years at least, and so that's the guaranteed amount that I'll deliver, and it's a multi-million-dollar deal, and it'll be in Variety, and we're going to publicize it. But
Nice, man.
So you'll
Very
see
nice.
executive producer Wan Han on a lot of the films. So thank you. Wow. Oh, he's standing up. Wow.
Because he's getting the applause drop for it. Okay.
And wait, let me see. And we're going to be making films. Wow. That's the live studio audience.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
So yeah, I'll be doing that, and I got a lot of things in development in that way. But the bottom line is that I've tried to take myself away from everything else except that I'll just be making movies. And
How about your family?
I haven't seen them in months and months.